A good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts by Barry Kramer. Now, I have been trying to stream Kingdom Hearts for a hot minute, if I'm being honest. The gaming channel is where those will be uploaded when those actually do happen. Spooktober, as it is right now, is kind of a very busy time for me, especially with Dead Space and stuff going to be streamed. But in terms of Kingdom Hearts, I played Birth by Sleep, Terra's line specifically. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed characters like Vanitas, Xehanort, Ericus, especially because Mark Hamill voiced Ericus in English. I was very happy with that. Also, knowing enough to really go into 3 as that was coming out and kind of understand plot elements. So I understand a lot. But just because I understand a lot about a game or a series and even can call plot points of where the game is going, much like Final Fantasy XIV, I called a number of those plot points before they happened, doesn't make the journey any less interesting or any less awesome to go through. So this was a Patreon recommendation. So I will be going through this and kind of seeing another perspective on Kingdom Hearts that I've never really seen
Welcome
before.
to a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts. I've only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and like a third of Kingdom Hearts 2, but I've always been fascinated by the series. I mean, what does any of this mean? So I sat down with this good boy Gam and he explained everything to me for 7 hours.
Okay, yes, but it's a lot stupider than you think. And we'll get to that in a long time.
Alright.
I'm still angry about it.
Okay.
And now I'm going to explain everything to you in slightly less time.
If I see Demix on screen and I don't hear the words "dance, water, dance," I'm gonna riot. Not really.
Please treat any non-accuracy as a true game word. But before we plunge headfirst into the terror that awaits us, there's some stuff you just gotta accept about the world of Kingdom Hearts. 1. Hearts are not literally hearts. They're kind of like a person's soul, but more like their emotional soul, I guess. 2. Light equals good and dark equals bad, and these are not metaphor, they're tangible forces within the universe. 3. If you lose your heart, or it's overcome by darkness, it turns into one of these little guys called a Heartless.
Heartless, and the shell left behind is a nobody, if I remember that correctly.
4. A body without a heart is an empty husk that turns into one of these slithery dudes, a nobody. Okay, so you lose your heart, you create both a Heartless and a nobody. Simple enough.
I can already hear the Roxas fans typing, because Roxas is wild.
5. If you're strong-willed enough, your husk turns into a special kind of nobody that looks like you and can talk and stuff. Okay, sure, fine.
Would that be Xemnas? Man, I can't actually say that. Actually, I can't finish the name. But it's Xemnas scrambled to begin with man. Let's put it that way.
Why not? 6. If both the Heartless and Nobody are destroyed, the original person is made whole again. And whole people are called somebodies. Just, I know.
Okay.
7. There's Disney and Final Fantasy characters everywhere.
Yeah.
And retcons. 8. This is more of a personal note, but I find it easier to take this all in if you consider it more of an avant-garde interactive art piece than a traditional narrative. Okay, let's dive in. Mickey, take the wheel! Kingdom Hearts
Love
1.
it.
We start in Destiny Islands, and if you think that name is heavy-handed now, just you wait. There's a bunch of kids running around, but we only care about 3 of them. So
we're not starting chronologically. We're starting in game order. Yeah, because isn't Birth by Sleep technically the first because it's technically the prequel? Oh, I'd have to look at the list again. Yeah, because Birth by Sleep takes first in the list because of how Terra, Aqua, and Ventus interact with Ericus and Xehanort, and how that plot progresses, and how we get Vanitas being I'm trying to remember. Vanitas is Ventus's dark half? There's an interaction there. We'll get to it later. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Sora, the plucky one, Riku, the angsty one, and Kairi, the milquetoast girl with no discernible personality traits whatsoever. Now, despite having their own cluster of islands to call their own, these kids decide it's not enough and build a raft to go on their own adventures. But suddenly, shoop, a big old portal opens up and Heartless...
Right, no, Chad is correct. I'm incorrect there. Technically, the mobile games do come first because that covers the old masters, right? And that actually leads into events with the funny box from Kingdom Hearts 3 at the end.
Start pouring out. Sora tries to fight them and is absolutely useless until shwee, a Keyblade suddenly appears in his hand, and he's all like, nice. Now, Keyblades aren't just big keys. well, I mean, they are, but they're also big metaphorical keys. They can destroy darkness and repair worlds and just generally do whatever the developers need them to do at that moment. And also, they're sort of like Harry Potter ones, where they choose their master, kinda. So
if I understand it correctly, because Sora's because multiple people have Keyblades, right? Aqua has her Keyblade. Ericus, okay. Ericus, for someone who knew nothing about the series or very little about the series in comparison to people who played the games for years, because I remember like, oh, well, no, Ericus is dead. And I'm like, no, he's not. His Keyblade still exists. Oh, no, it's fine. He left that behind. Lo and behold, Ericus technically still exists at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. And it's like, wow, it's almost like these plot points line up with each other. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Or something, because like we have other people with Keyblades, but if I understand it correctly, Sora has the Kingdom Key specifically, which has its own special properties.
Sora beats the crap out of some Heartless, and then Riku's like, dude, this evil portal is totally sweet. And Sora's like, I don't know, man, that looks like a bad time. And Riku's like, I'm gonna go through there. Nope. You should come too. Nuh-uh. Okay then. Yeah. I'll just, nope. Here I go. You should not. Through the spooky portal. And then everything explodes, and Sora goes flying, and Kairi sort of phases through Sora. Yeah, that's a little weird. Elsewhere, Mickey Mouse, yes, Mickey Mouse, did I stutter, is like,
haha, go buy your new game, kids. Go support the mouse, haha. South Park and Mickey Mouse will forever take precedent in my brain.
Like, I gotta go, see you later, huh? And Donald and Goofy are like, you what? You're the king. You can't just find the Keyblade wielder. Bye-bye. I don't understand what's happening. So after exploding and flying through space for a while, Sora wakes up in this strange city with bumpin' music called Traverse Town. He meets up with Donald and Goofy, who are like, is that a Keyblade? And
Traverse Town is pretty on the nose. It kind of like Termina in Majora's Mask. Not that it's supposed to signify terminal as an end, but terminal as in like a place where you like a plane terminal, right? Place where you go to then connect to other places, right? Very, very on the nose. I think as far as I've gotten in Kingdom Hearts 1, I got to the boss of Traverse Town that split into like 5 parts, right? The arms, the legs, and the body. I think that's as far as I've gotten in 1.
Sora's like, don't touch it. Meanwhile, Riku gracefully emerges from his creepy portal thing and meets up with Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, and she's like, Riku, you should totally join me. Look, Sora doesn't even care about you anymore. He has new friends now. And Riku's like, these vibes I'm getting from you are definitely trustworthy. So Sora teams up with Dobbled and Goombi so they can find their friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have not played 2. So I've played Birth by Sleep Terra. I've played 1 up through the boss of Traverse Town. I've played 3 up through midway through Tangled, where you got to see Marluxia again. That's literally all I've played. I think I tried doing the first mission of Dream Drop Distance once on the 3DS. So when I say I have very little actual hands-on experience in this game, this series, I genuinely mean it. And it's also been really hard to find the time to put it into like episodic format for the gaming channel, because I am going in expecting a 60-hour playthrough. Because, like, you hit the card one. I think a lot of people hate Chain of Memories. But that has to do with Chain of Memories initially being a 2D game. Remember, it was like a 2D GBA game, right? And then it was adopted for a 3D space. And I think that caused a lot of complications for people.
Travel through a bunch of Disney worlds that literally do not matter whatsoever. Like, it's fine if you want to hang out with the adorable little teacup from Beauty and the Beast, and this guy over here, Chub play the tub, fine. But it does not matter to the story.
Yeah, read Chain of Memories, yeah.
Eventually, they wind up at a big old castle called Hollow Bastion. Riku pops up, and Sora's like, Riku, my friend, after being separated for so long, I have finally found you. And Riku's like, girl, that Keyblade's only been hanging out with you to make me jealous. And Keyblade-chan zhoops on over to Riku-kun. Oh, Scoots, says Sora. Well, it doesn't matter. With Donald and Goofy at my side, we can't... No, our allegiance is with the Keyblade, not you, so... Then Sora has...
This reminds me, what is his name? It's from Silent Hill 3. What's the demon's name? Valtiel. Valtiel in 3, how Valtiel is helping What's-Her-Face through the game until she no longer is the, mother of the reborn deity. And then Valtiel helps What's-Her-Face, Claudia Wolf instead, right? Right? That kind, yeah, yes, very weird, very weird, comparison I'm making. But, Yeah, like, allegiance is not to you specifically, it is to this specific purpose, right? Makes sense.
A mopey road trip with Beast from Beauty and the Beast until they discovered this super spooky room with a giant keyhole and a bunch of sleeping Disney princesses. Riku's in the corner with Keyblade-chan going,
Oh yeah, and then what did he say? Oh girl, he did not. Wow, what a creep, ha ha ha.
But then Sora delivers this badass monologue about friendship and hearts and stuff, and Keyblade-chan gets all flustered and tsundere and swoops back on over to Sora. And he's all, nice. Riku goes,
Oh yeah, well at least I still have Ansem.
and Sora's like, who's Ansem? And Riku's like,
This super evil dude that's possessing me, he was also like totally pulling Maleficent strings or whatever.
and she's like, it be like that though. And Sora goes, you what, mate? And also, Kairi has been drilling face down in the corner this whole time, but nobody knows
Yeah.
because she's just that boring. Beast, who has been awkwardly in the room this whole time, points her out, and after a few minutes, they remember who she is. Kairi! Cries Sora. Riku drones on for a while about how Kairi's the
Hi, Ansem.
last princess Ansem needs for his evil scheme. And also remember when Destiny Islands blew up and Kairi went zzzz through Sora? Yeah, her heart has been inside of Sora this whole time.
This really is going to be interesting to go through the series because, like I just said in chat, like I know how 3 ends. I don't know much about the DLC. I know a little bit about it. Young Xehanort that's a character. But like I know about Skylad Kylam. I know about the final confrontation between Xehanort, him reabsorbing his 13 selves, right? The ending where Kingdom the Keyblade spelt what XI is reforged, and he's about to unlock the power of Kingdom Hearts to effectively do the funny reset, right? And then Ericus comes down and tells him enough is enough. You have to pass this on, and then he gives the Keyblade to Sora, which I'm assuming comes up in the DLC. But I think that's more of a Yozora-ism, right? I know there's fan theories. I know because at the beginning of Birth by Sleep, Terra was not promoted to Master where Aqua was because that was the Mark of Mastery exam, right? But the theory out there is that Xehanort's Mastery exam was quite that. Sora ended up passing his Mark of Mastery exam. I don't know if that theory tracks with the wider fan base. It'd be interesting to really like think about that and dive into that once I've actually truly gone through the series. And that's the thing is I don't really mind spoilers really right now because I haven't minded it for years, right? I didn't grow up with a PS2, didn't grow up with Kingdom Hearts, right? I have access to it now on Steam, right? And it literally is just a matter of having 40 to 60 hours per game to sit down and go and crank out episodes for the gaming channel, right? Like being able to do something like that, right? So I can't wait to go through this because even if you know how a book ends, like sure, something redacted dies in a certain Harry Potter novel, right? It sucks and it ruins the ending for people. Don't do that, right? But I always try to seek information, and even if I know the information, even if I know about, say, Xehanort bestowing the Keyblade to Sora at the end, and him and Ericus just kind of, transcending, kind of disappearing, right? Or knowing that all the Keyblades in the Keyblade graveyard with all the credits are the specific players from the mobile game, right? During a certain period before a cutoff, right? It doesn't make the journey any less special, right? It doesn't make the journey any less interesting to go through and to really analyze. So it's going to be interesting to go through this eventually, especially with how Sora and Kairi's interaction works, because at the end, obviously, there's spoiler at the end, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Sora and Kairi just be passing fates the entire series.
Sora goes, ew, OMG, and commits Sudoku with his Keyblade. This frees Kairi's heart and revives her. Yay! This also frees Sora's heart, so he's a heartless now. Boo! But Kairi's like, bibbidi bobbidi deus ex machina, bitch. And Sora turns back to normal, which contradicts everything we understand about how any of this works, but
isn't she a princess of heart too? Isn't she super special awesome?
Sure, fine. Ansem sees all this and is like, seriously, I checked the wiki and they used the word somehow. Whatever, I'm out in peace. And Sora follows him to Destiny Islands, but now it's all destroyed, so it's Deprestiny Islands. Ansem and Sora have a good old-fashioned anime showdown. Sora believes in himself, Ansem turns into a boat, and the player mashes X a lot until Ansem is like,
all right, whatever. I'm gonna open the door to Kingdom Hearts, which is the source of all hearts, and it's all darkness in there and stuff. I love darkness. Check out my tattoo.
And Sora's like, all right, fine, open it, you dollar store goth. And Sora fumbles with his Oakleys for a moment because guess what it's like?
Handsome is all curses, foiled, bingus bongus, and he explodes.
I think that's actually the end of one, if I understand that correctly.
Sora tries to close the door to Kingdom Hearts, but he can't. Oh no! Until guess what? Riku. Wait, how is he in there? And guess what? Mickey. What? Wait, where's his shirt? Remember this? It's important. I swear, do not forget. Riku and Mickey help close the door from the inside, and bingus bongus bablamo. All the broken worlds
Does that trap them in the world of darkness? I don't remember. I think that does.
go back to normal, and everybody returns to Destiny Islands, and Sora is like, okay, I'll be back. I gotta go save Riku and Mickey. And Kairi just kind of stands there because she has no agency and is barely a character. Chain of Memories. 5 minutes later, Sora is walking down a road with Doorbald and Goblin when a hooded figure arrives and mumbles something about mysteries. They continue down the path and arrive at Castle Oblivion.
Oh, yep, because, Castle Oblivion is redacted, right. I don't know. I wonder how people took that. I wonder if people took that as a retcon or if they took that as actually, like, a good faith plot point. Because I feel like some people would definitely say that would be a retcon. But, like, I don't know. It makes sense. From what little I know, it actually makes sense, and it's rather poetic of why Castle Oblivion is the way it is.
Sora works his way through the castle and meets a whole bunch of creepy figures that dramatically take off their hoods to reveal their sweet, sweet anime hair. There's Larxene and Marluxia and Axel and Lexius and Zexion and Vexen, also known as all the sweet LiveJournal blogs used to follow in middle school. They take turns showing up to do something mysterious, and then Sora blows them up. Except Axel, he survives because he had the biggest anime hair of them all. Meanwhile, Sora's losing his memories. Oh no! The further
Was Demix in this, or was he in 2?
he moves into the castle, the more his real memories get replaced by fake memories. He starts remembering this girl who kind of looks like Kairi, but she's not. She's got different hair and almost a personality. Her name is Naminé. And Sora's like, I don't remember anything else, so I better find this Naminé. She seems important and was along for our adventures this whole time. Also, I kind of feel like I want to give her a smooch. A few games of poker later, Sora finally reaches Naminé, and she's like, yeah, I stole all your memories. You have to take a nap so I can restore them, but you'll forget everything from this game. You won't even remember me. But Sora's already asleep in this big old fancy pod.
And I think this picks up where, because I remember correctly, the beginning of 2 deals with Roxas. And if I remember correctly, Roxas coming to this exact pod to restore Sora's memories, I think, is where 2 really picks up, really, like, takes off. Kind of reminds me of Warframe: The Second Dream a little bit now that I think about it. A little bit, like, vaguely.
Durlap and Gruff share the economy class pod, and they deserve it for wasting all the health potions. You had one job! Meanwhile, Riku and Mickey just kinda leave Kingdom Hearts. Riku takes the wake up floating in a void option,
Isn't it a false Kingdom Hearts?
then teleports into Castle Oblivion because he ventures through the castle but doesn't lose his memories because Naminé only got eyes for Sora, know what I mean? He meets a bunch of those hooded weirdos, which, by the way, all belong to a group/cult called Organization 13. More on that in a bit. And later runs into a clone of himself. Riku's like, whoa, it's a clone of me, sweet. And the clone is like, no, you're the clone. My name is Replica Riku. And wait a minute, why is Replica my name? So Riku kicks him a few times and Replica Riku explodes. Then Riku bumps into this red mummy named Diz. And he's like, don't worry about me for now. Actually, don't worry about any of this. You got like 5 games to go before things start to make sense. And then Mickey hops on Riku's back and is like, well, I'm gonna help you control your darkness better. Let's go. And that's about it for Chain of Memories. The next game is Kingdom Hearts 2.
What a wild game.
Which starts with not Sora, but with this guy, Roxas. To find out what his deal is, we need to first check out 358 over 2 days.
Which, if I remember correctly, is a DS game, and if you get it in the HD collection, it is relegated to strictly cutscenes.
That title. So, okay, again, remember when Sora had a Sudoku and released Kairi's heart and turned himself into a Heartless? That also created Sora's Nobody, who wakes up in Twilight Town one day all, boopity boopity, where the poopity am I? He's found by this weirdo named Xemnas, who's like, welcome to Organization 13. Here's your spooky cloak and how to infuriatingly speak in riddles guide. Also, your name is Roxas. Xemnas introduces Roxas to the rest of the Breakfast Club.
Just scramble the name and add an X. I love the naming convention.
Luxord, Demix, Saïx, Zaldin, Zigbar, remember him for later, and
oh, Zigbar.
Hey, we know these guys. This game takes place at the same time as Chain of Memories, so you got some characters.
I will say, the Zigbar plot point, I did not see that coming. My roommate at the time, allegedly, she said she saw that coming for years. I did not see that coming.
Going back and forth between the two, it's super. Roxas goes on adventures around Disney World and becomes best buds with one organization member in particular, Axel. They eat ice cream and just totally bro out. It's super cute. Then Xemnas is like, yo, some stuff is going down at Castle Oblivion. Who's in? And a bunch of Organization 13 members head over there, including Axel, and then that ties in the chain of memories. Then a new character pops up, the 14th member of Organization 13.
Shion.
What? Her name is Shion, and she's like, I'm weird, I don't know who I am. And for good reason. Turns out she's... Let me just check my notes here. A replica of Sora created by Xemnas using the memories Naminé took from Sora as a failsafe in case Roxas ended up not going along with Xemnas' crazy schemes. And thanks to Naminé, some of Sora's memories wound up in Roxas too. So Shion pieces out in an attempt to save us all from having to understand what's going on, but Xemnas captures her and reprograms her to make her attack Roxas. Because if Shion defeats Roxas, then Sora will never be able to get his memories back. Oh! But Roxas defeats Shion and she's like,
Cough, sputter, you gotta merge with Sora and defeat Xemnas.
and Roxas is like, what's a Sora? Is that a type of ice cream? But before she can reply, she porfs into Roxas. Dang. Riku shows up because, sure, why not? And he's like,
Okay, Roxas, time to go back to Sora.
and Roxas is like, I don't wanna. Also, whomst is Sora? And Riku's like,
Fine, sit inside this computer simulation until you cool off.
and Roxas is like, what are any of these words you're saying? Which leads us to Kingdom Hearts 2. We meet up with Roxas, who's inside a computer simulation of Twilight Town, except he lost most of his memories and doesn't know he's
Sorry, Twilight Town, not Traverse Town.
inside a computer. And I mean, we're not supposed to either, because 358 over 2 days released like 4 years after Kingdom Hearts 2, but trust me, it's just easier to understand this way. So
Yeah.
Roxas has his weird summer break and eats lots of ice cream and experiences a bunch of brain freezes and glitches in the Matrix until one day Axel shows up. And he's all like, Roxas, you're in a computer, I'm your friend. And Roxas is like, what's a computer? Then he meets Naminé, who goes, your Sora's nobody. And Roxas is like, whoa, what's a nobody? He doesn't understand what's going on, but that's okay because neither do we. He finally
Yeah.
runs into Diz, who goes,
Look, just merge with Sora and everything will be cool.
and Roxas goes, okay, but there better be ice cream there. So he absorbs out of the computer and into Sora, and Sora finally wakes up with all of his memories back. Minus everything that happened in Chain of Memories. And I
Right.
guess Dallas and Gommet wake up too, whatever. Mickey, now in a badass hoodie, sends them off to meet the wizard, a wonderful wizard named Yen Sid. And he looks like
I honestly didn't even put 2 and 2 together, if I'm being completely honest.
this. Yen Sid goes,
First of all, those outfits have to go. Zippers are out, belts are in.
Yeah.
Second, you need your driver's license. Go visit more Disney worlds.
So they visit some more merchandising opportunities and keep bumping into Maleficent, now joined by Pete and a bunch of those Organization 13 weirdos. They just don't quit, do they? At one point, there's a battle with 1,000,000,000,000 Heartless, and Goofy gets hit by a boulder and dies. Yeah, he's dead. Angus
Okay.
Bunger, you're 6 feet under. Somewhere in all this mess, we get a big ol' exposition dump. A while ago, there was a nice bearded man named Ansem the Wise, who was a man of science. Or the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of science, because this guy was researching hearts and light and wrote his dissertation on feeling good and having friends. Now, Ansem the Wise had an apprentice by the name of Xehanort, who let his heart get consumed by darkness because he's a weirdo. This created Xehanort's Heartless, which confusingly decided to call itself Ansem. Psst, this was the bad guy in Kingdom Hearts 1, not Wise Ansem. They're completely different people.
Right.
And Xehanort's Nobody, which called itself Xemnas. Hey, we know that guy. Meanwhile, Kyrie's standing exactly
Wait a minute.
Xemnas. Hey, we know that guy. Meanwhile,
I thought that 3 revealed... Because Birth by Sleep talks about Xehanort and Terra having a dispute over his body, and he's the one, like that, Terranort is the one that wakes up in, wherever Ansem the Wise was. I don't remember the name of the world offhand. So I don't know when the Terranort to Xemnas swap happened then. That one I'm a little confused on. Because I guess Terra has his own Heartless. He's one of the Giga Heartless that's chained in 3, right? Like, he shows up as, like, the floating one behind in the boss. Versus Terranort. Or... I'm trying to remember. Or is it that Terranort's Heartless is Ansem, and Terranort's nobody is Xemnas. I genuinely don't remember the interaction there.
While Kairi's standing exactly where Sora left her on Destiny Islands, but somehow in a new outfit, when Axel swoops in and kidnaps her. He wants his buddy Roxas back, and he's not gonna let Organization 13 boss him around no more. Oh no siree. But he instantly sacrifices himself so Sora can jump through a portal to the world that never was. Sora's like, how can I be in a place that never was when it clearly currently is? But just then a mysterious figure emerges. It's Ansem, but no, it's Riku. It's Riku, but he looks like Ansem. Okie
I don't know this interaction here. Like, I know it exists. I know it's a plot point. I don't understand the reasoning.
dokie. Sora goes on a heart unlocking spree until Diz appears, and he's like, you think that I'm a mummy now? Here's a surprise. Feast your eyes on my disguise. I'm really Ansem the Wise.
What?
The bad guys are conspiring to make their own Kingdom Hearts, but they forgot a little something that's right, my looks and my smarts. I'm gonna use
Is this an original piece? Because this sounds like this would be an NSP song. This is fantastic.
this pewter here to digitize the skies. You better idolize and recognize I'm Ansem the Wise. Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, Mickey, and Kairi. I bid you all adieu because my computer is backfiring. So Diz's computer explodes, which causes Diz to disappear, and for some reason
This is an original piece to the video. That was a 10.
and also turns Riku back to normal. Xemnas is all, my beautiful plan ruined, etc, etc, let us fight. Sora and Riku hold hands and prepare for a good old-fashioned anime showdown. Sora believes in himself, Xemnas turns into a boat, and the player mashes
Not a
X a lot,
boat!
and sometimes triangle, until Xemnas is defeated. Everyone winds up back on Destiny Islands because sure, whatever. And Namine's there too, and she's like, hey Kairi, nice to meet you, I'm your nobody. And Kairi stares into the middle distance. Yeah, so everything ties back to the moment Sora released his and Kairi's hearts. Either it's poetic in its simplicity or stupid in its stupidity.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
I don't know. This moment should have created 2 Heartlesses and at least 1 nobody because Kairi's heart isn't really connected to her body at this point. But Kairi is a princess of heart, meaning she has 0 darkness in her heart, so she doesn't create a Heartless. She does create a nobody, but she has no body for it to form from, so while Sora is busy splitting off into his Heartless and his nobody, Kairi's nobody, Namine, is created from Kairi's heart and Sora's body, which explains why she was able to meddle with his memories and whatnot. So to sum it up, I don't know. I said up front this thing was filled with retcons, right? Sora goes, oh yeah.
Does this classify like a retcon though? Because I mean, like 40k Terminus Decree, that feels like a retcon, where it's just like, yeah, by the way, this is what the Terminus Decree is now, right? Like, do we consider this a retcon? I think the argument about retcons comes up if something is already pre-established and it breaks the mold, right? Like, and you can have exceptions. Stories all the time have exceptions, but they just have to be written in a way that makes sense, right? Like it has to make sense and it has to be a logical deviation. Not that it's just like it is because I say it is, right? Because then you get called, creatively bankrupt by your audience, right? Like if you spend the entire time saying that a Heartless is created by someone's heart leaving their body, and a nobody is created by the husk that's left behind, right? And then you have an example of what should have been a Heartless created by Kairi, and like that whole example we just went over. Do we consider this a retcon? Or is this because she's super special, awesome Princess of Heart status that she kind of is an exception here? I think having a reference point, or even I think this is where a character, unironically, like young Xehanort, would really come in handy. Obviously, this is before his time, right? I think he first showed up in Dream Drop Distance, right? But just having some kind of reliable narrator, or even like a Lushu type character, right? Like I feel like an exposition dump would actually help resolve this and give players and fans kind of a point of reference, right? Because exceptions are fine, but the exceptions have to be rooted in some sort of logic, and they're treated like that, exceptions, right?
Yeah, Roxas has been kinda rumbly lately. You okay, little fella? So Sora and Roxas share a ghost hug, and Kairi and Namine are chill, I guess. Oh, and the Goofy recovers from being dead. But then a letter washes up on the shore with that dang old Mickey Mouse and
Goofy, weren't you dead? Got better. It's the Monty Python bit.
on it. What do you want now, you creepy rat? But before we open that envelope, birth by sleep.
Hey.
10 years earlier, we got these 3 sweet pieces of anime hair. Aqua, Terra, and Ventus.
I've been told I'm very Terra-like in terms of personality. Although, I don't know. The 2 characters I've been likened to have been both Terra and Marluxia. Take that as you will.
Weirdly, Ventus looks a lot like Roxas, like
Very
identical.
much so.
I mean, I know compared to Dozenkrantz and Goofenstern over here, Roxas and Sora look a lot alike, but trust me, Roxas resembles this guy, Ventus. For reasons. The 3 of them are being trained by Master Ericus to become Keyblade Masters. Ventus is too young and spunky, so he has to wait while Aqua and Terra take their final test, the Mark of Mastery. We're in this place, the Land of Departure. Aqua passes and she's all like, neat. But Terra fails because he's got too much angsty darkness and Spencer's coupons inside his heart. And Ericus takes one look and goes, girl, get yourself sorted out. Meanwhile,
I do like, so Ericus was voiced by Mark Hamill, like we've talked about. Xehanort was formerly voiced by Leonard Nimoy, right? Spock. Rest in peace, because he is no longer with us, right? So this is kind of a meeting of like fandoms in a way, where you have Luke Skywalker and Spock literally being the English voices of the mentor characters. Kind of wild to think about. But if I remember correctly, I actually really like the Birth by Sleep segment with the Mark of Mastery between Aqua and Terra, because Terra definitely taps into his darker emotions. I thought it was a really cool display.
while in a fancy land for fancy lads called Radiant
Ericus is an anagram of Square, the dev studio. I hate everything about that now.
Garden, Ansem the Wise is researching how hearts work and stuff. He's got some test tubes and like a computer, and he's going, oh yes, interesting. And he's surrounded by all of his hot anime friends who kinda look familiar. There's also a little girl here named Kairi who's got no personality. Look at her go. Elsewhere, Aqua and Terra pop out of a portal on Destiny Islands, because of course they do. They meet these two little babbies named Sora and Riku. Terra walks over and is like, ew, this one is totally giving me Ventus vibes. Hey kid, now you know how to use a Keyblade. You won't remember this when you're older. And Riku dribbles on himself. Also,
that feels a little bit like a retcon, though. I mean, a passing one-liner in, like, I don't know, what, like Kingdom Hearts 1 or even 2 might have, like, maybe like a memory of, like, the vague silhouette. Like, you know how, like, some in other Final Fantasy games, I'm pretty sure 7 does this as well. I think Crisis Core might have done this, right? Yeah, where it showcases, like, a still in like a memory flashback, and it shows like, I don't know, like Sephiroth or Genesis or even Angeal with like their back turned, right? Like, I mean, it's like Square has done this in other games too, right? And like it kind of gives like a reveal of like things to come a little bit. So I feel like kind of saying, by the way, this happened when they were younger, they just kind of really conveniently don't remember it. I feel like that does kind of tread on retcon territory, but I would honestly defer to the people who have far more experience and have been way more into the game than I have, who have knowledge to really say one way or the other.
Harry comes over from Radiant Garden and Aqua maybe teaches her how to use a Keyblade?
Maybe.
Ventus is wandering alone by himself somewhere when this hot piece of action rolls up on a motorcycle and is like, remember me? And Ventus is like, nope. And Hot Stuff takes off his helmet and is like, how about now? And Ventus is like, sorry, I only know one other dude with yellow eyes. Wait! Turns out Ventus forgot a whole bunch of stuff that was super important. Before he was being trained by Master Ericus, his master was this objectively evil-looking dude with yellow eyes named Master Xehanort. How about that? Xehanort was trying to get Ventus to unleash the darkness in his heart to summon this all-powerful Keyblade called the Keyblade.
Yeah.
That's the...
Sorry, it's not XI. It is that funny X symbol, though.
That's the Greek letter key. But Ventus was like, I don't wanna. I'm a good boy. Look at my badge. And Xehanort's like, fine, I'll just take your darkness myself. And goes shoobly bop, sucks the darkness out of Ventus's heart, and makes Motorcycle Man, also known as Vanitas. Oh, and he looks exactly like an evil Sora, but just don't.
Yeah, there's an interaction there because of how... Oh, God, yeah, that gets confusing. This is actually brought up in 3, if I remember correctly. Ventus bestowed some of his power on Sora. There's an interaction there, so it is reasonable for Vanitas to look like a darker Sora. Like there's some interaction there.
Think about it, it's fine. Flashback over. Ventus is like, oh yeah, I remember. And Vanitas is like,
Cool, we gotta fight. Meet me at the Keyblade Graveyard.
okay, so long ago there were tons of Keyblade wielders and they all fought over the Keyblade in this epic war, and now all that's left is a bunch of keys in the ground. But Ventus knows all this and just goes, "K." Meanwhile, Terra's getting super moody and kills Master Ericus.
Yeah.
Ericus is like,
Why, my pupil?
and Terra's like, I don't know, Gam didn't go over this part in detail, but I'm assuming darkness? Then everyone piles into the minivan and heads on over to the Keyblade Graveyard for their big anime fight. And you know it's serious because nobody turns into a boat. Ventus versus Vanitas.
My God.
Terra versus Xehanort, who's like, hello. And Aqua versus this dude who you might recognize better like this, but he doesn't have
Yeah.
his cool eye patch and scar yet. Him named
Yeah.
Breg. Xehanort is like,
I'll have the Keyblade.
I thought Brig got his eye patch. Wasn't it after the Terra fight? I don't remember.
Keyblade, not Keyblade. And with that, I'll control Kingdom Hearts.
and Terra's like, nuh-uh, no siree, stop right there, Mr. Bister. And everyone starts fighting. Aqua beats up Breg, and he's like, now I look cooler. Ventus and Vanitas fuse, which sorta creates the Keyblade for a second, but then it explodes. And then Ventus explodes. He's just asleep, but his heart goes swoosh over to Destiny Islands to go live in Sora's heart and heal up. Sure, okay. Aqua takes Ventus's blown up body back to the land of departure and uses her Keyblade to turn it into Castle Oblivion.
Well, technically it's Eric's Keyblade.
She goes, okay, Ventus, I'm the only one who knows you're here. Have a good nap now, pat pat. She returns just in time to see Xehanort possessing Terra, forming Terra Xehanort, or Terranort for short. A while back, Xehanort was like,
I'm getting old. I can possess someone using the darkness in their heart. That's a neat trick.
also, psst, this is what Norting is. Aqua goes, I am not about this, and fights and defeats Terranort. But Terranort's all like,
Ha ha ha, not so fast.
and uses his Keyblade to unlock his heart, which traps Aqua in the realm of darkness and gives Terranort amnesia because we didn't have enough tropes on our plate already, sure.
I'm trying to remember if, because his Keyblade is his Keyblade called No Name? What is Xehanort's Keyblade called? I think it's No Name. Yeah, it's called No Name. I'm trying to, because the chess game between him and Ericus, No Name was on the wall. So I know that I think there's some sort of like Master of Masters plot point, at least that's predicted or suspected. Because young Xehanort has another Keyblade completely. So this is No Name, right? This is what we see in the video. But then we have this one, which isn't No Name, but is young Xehanort's blade, right? Yes, I know my head's kind of hiding it, right? But point like a lot of there's a lot of time influence on this. That Keyblade was the Master's eye. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I think there's some sort of mention, if I remember correctly, in Kingdom Hearts 3 about someone's eye or something about seeing something or vision. I vaguely remember this.
Throw some amnesia into the mix! Terranort, just calling himself Xehanort now, becomes an apprentice to Ansem the Wise, and then much later gets his memories back, and goes on to create his Heartless Ansem, this one, not that one, and his Nobody Xemnas.
Okay, yeah, so Terranort is Prime, Heartless Ansem, Nobody Xemnas, and then he kind of just doesn't exist, but simultaneously exists, because he does show up. Well, so Ansem is defeated in 1, Xemnas is defeated in 2, but then when we get to the end of Dream Drop Distance with the meeting and the attempted Nording of Sora, right? And we see young Xehanort, right? Like, we see him in 3, but I don't know if there's time shenanigans going on somewhere. You believe Demyx is Master of Masters? That's an interesting theory. I know next to nothing about Demyx. I mean, to be fair, with the whole Zigbar Breg reveal, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a character that's been there, like, well, even that Maleficent and Pete have their whole plot point at the end of 3, right? Where Maleficent stops Pete from going after the box that they like. It really felt like a MacGuffin throughout the entire thing, right? Because they show up, they ask Hades in Kingdom Hearts 3, right? We're looking for this box, right? And they keep going to Worlds and ask about this box. And you're like, is this MacGuffin? And then literally at the end of the game, right? The box shows up, and then Maleficent and Pete are like, looking at this, lips and stop peeps from going forward, and then like the old masters show up. Like, there's a lot going on with that reveal.
Now we can return to the present in Recoded.
I know next to nothing about it.
Quite the present. Sometime after defeating Xemnas, but before Mickey's letter arrives at Destiny Islands, Jiminy Cricket is hanging out with Mickey. You see, throughout Sora's many adventures, he's been accompanied by Jiminy, who's been documenting everything that happens. Like, today, Sora spent 15 minutes staring at a bowl of oatmeal. Jiminy's about to turn in his homework to Mickey when he notices some cryptic messages he didn't write, like some Cure lyrics or something. Chip and Dale digitize the journal and create a digital copy of Sora, Data Sora, to fight the bugs that are corrupting the data and, I don't know, hack.
Oh, I remember hearing about this. I know next to nothing about it, though. So we look at games like Final Fantasy XIV. I just want to use this as an example. We look at games like Final Fantasy XIV and we wonder why I call plot points like who the Griffin is, what certain plot points and reveals there's going to be, right? And sure, certain things like the 84 trial and Endwalker took me by surprise, right? But like how I generally can kind of like follow and predict certain story events in games, use this as a reference point when considering how I do things. Poor Rev. I heard Rev was getting some DMs about like Rev, why are you telling Kip these plot points? Like he told me nothing. Some of those plot points I'm genuinely just like, nah, this is common sense intuition, right? 14 in my opinion is very well written, if not predictable and simplistic at times, but I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. Like, when you have to go through this and contemplate things like this, especially where I don't have playing the games as a big reference point, think about that. I have not played the games and still can kind of intake a lot of this information and rationalize it. Like, this should make how I can predict certain plot points a lot better. That should rationalize it.
Hijinks ensue? Pete and Maleficent are there, some...
Yes, you are correct. I do believe that this was another game that was relegated to cutscenes in the HD re-release.
C-tier Disney properties show up, Jiminy's journal appears and turns into Riku. It's just whatever. The journal is restored and Data Nominee reaches out to Data Sora and is like, hey, you got a whole lot of business jellying up your jam ram. You got Roxas inside of you and like Shion's inside of Roxas and then there's like Ventus sort of fused with Vanitas. It's just a big ol' awkward Inception party in there. It's middle school dance bad. Also, the bugs are a side effect of me messing with Sora's memories because Data Sora texts all this to Mickey, who's like, butter my me-shaped muffins. The real Sora's gotta learn about this stat. And writes the letter that then shows up at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Data Sora goes, what? Real Sora? As the computer gets turned off because Mickey's got a date with the wizard. Yen Sid goes,
Yo, Xehanort is coming back and we're screwed. We only have one Keyblade Master and you, like, randomly took your shirt.
Oh, right. We only have one Keyblade Master. It sounds like we need to create more, or we need to train up more, and that leads into Dream Drop Distance. Right. I remember hearing about this.
Off that one time.
And Mickey goes, we'll get to that. What about Sora and Riku? If they become Keyblade Masters and Sora gets his jam unjellied, we might stand a chance. And Yen Sid goes,
Okay, but there's a lot of jelly in his jam. And it
What?
smells like peaches.
Happened.
Dream Drop Distance.
Yep.
In order to become Keyblade Master,
Dream Drop Distance, especially on PlayStation with the PlayStation controller, I hear is very well done. Especially because I think the center of the PS4 controller, or maybe I hope PS5 as well, right? It has touchscreen, and I think it uses the microphone from the controller as well. So I remember when I was my old roommates were playing it on their PS4. I heard that they really liked how it was integrated from the 3DS.
Sora and Riku have to take the Mark of Mastery, the same exam that Terra and Aqua took way back when. But apparently the test is totally arbitrary, and whoever's conducting the exam just does whatever they want, just like real life. Yen Sid charges Sora and Riku with waking all the sleeping hearts of various worlds that have been on a constant roller coaster of exploding and being reformed over the past couple games. They bounce through some Disney worlds and wake people up, but not Sleeping Beauty? Come on, it's a game about waking people. Okay, Gam's telling me there's a reason. Okay, fine. Anyway, remember the rules of the Kingdom Hearts universe? All that stuff about Heartless and Nobodies and how destroying both restores the original somebody? Yeah,
Right.
so all those Organization 13 Nobodies Sora killed, they're back as their original X-less somebodies. What? Our protagonist wasn't going around murdering people? See, they're fine. Ha ha ha. Also, keep it together. Oh. The X in all those Nobodies names isn't an X. It's called the Recusant Sigil, and Xehanort uses it to mark his BFFs and track their location.
I actually didn't know about this plot point. Like, I knew that, like, it was an X in terms of the name, but I didn't know that actually had a purpose narratively.
This even works on clothing, and that's, oh god, that's how they're able to track Sora throughout this game.
Oh.
Because they put an X on his
Wow!
shirt. Oh, and then
That's a little bit of a leap in logic. I would have to see how they maneuvered that to get to that point. Because didn't Yen Sid give Sora new clothes? That feels like a little bit of a reach.
this guy shows up. This is young Xehanort. Yeah, so now there's time travel in this series. Good! I am over the heart-shaped moon! Thank you! It really doesn't matter how time travel works in this universe, and I'm scared to open the wiki again, so here's all of Gam's notes on the matter.
Wow.
Basically, at some point, Evil Ansem went back to Destiny Islands where Xehanort grew up because, because everyone's from there.
Yeah.
He met the young lad and was like, here's some, going back in time potion. Go round up all the Xehanorts, because we going hard. Because, okay, Xehanort's Heartless was killed in Kingdom Hearts 1,
Dude, yeah, go grab all of your our 13 other selves. We're gonna have one massive bender in the world that never was.
His nobody was killed in Kingdom Hearts 2, which means Xehanort's somebody is back and ready to crack some skulls. And wait, why does he look like creepy old man Xehanort, not Terranort? I thought I understood how this worked.
Yeah, that is a good question. Why does he not look like Terranort?
I'm doing my best.
Oh, but now we learn about Xehanort's ultimate master plan. In Birth by Sleep, he wanted the Keyblade in order to control Kingdom Hearts. But the Keyblade exploded, and conveniently it likes to explode into 20 pieces. 7 light and
7
13
dark.
dark.
Or sorry, 13,
Xehanort
yeah.
is all,
Grr, I want those shards.
like he's the villain in a cereal commercial or something. Originally, he planned for the 7 light pieces to come from the so-called 7 princesses of heart.
Okay.
Snow White, Cinderella, Alice, Aurora, Belle, Jasmine, and Kairi. This is all the business with the Princess Pods and Hollow Bastion back in Kingdom Hearts 1. But the 7 light pieces could also be the 7 Guardians of Light. Mickey, Sora, Riku, Ventus, Aqua, Terra, maybe Kairi. It's
Right.
not really clear right now. Meanwhile, the 13 dark pieces are a little harder to come by. We got a couple bad eggs bumbling about, but 13? Not quite. So Xehanort, being
Has to
the
make his
rational
own.
person he is, decided to essentially create 12 copies of himself by putting a little Nort into all these nobodies, which together would then act as the 13 dark pieces needed to form the Keyblade. This is why Xehanort created Organization 13. His plan was to Nort each of the members so he'd have his 13 dark pieces, but instead they thought for themselves and were like, what the heck, dude? And also Sora killed everybody, so way to go, Sora. He also tried having 2 of the members be as Heartless and Nobody, which is totally cheating. Xehanort, being the rational person he is, decided,
Hey, that's a good point. What am I doing norting unwilling people? I'll just find people who want to be me. Like
Me?
so that's why he sent Ansem to seek out young Xehanort in the past. He's making a new Organization 13 out of some time-traveling Xehanorts and a bunch of other friends called the, wait for it, Real Organization 13. Boo! They should have called it the Super Excited to Be Xehanort Club. So Xehanort gathers himself, young Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, Xigbar, and Syx, who are part of the old Organization 13, but apparently just can't get enough of that Nort juice. And 6
Isa.
other shadowy figures that'll almost certainly get revealed in Kingdom Hearts 3. They're probably like time-traveling goofies or something. Oh, yuck. But wait, I hear you counting on your fingers. That only makes 12. Yes, they're 1 short. So Xehanort decides the 13th
Should
Nort
be
shall
Sora.
be Sora. He kidnaps Sora because I guess Goofus and Dalent do literally nothing all day and is a
Just remember, canonically, Donald Duck is one of the strongest mages in Kingdom, and just all of Square because of Zeta Flare. I've heard people really get salty over Kingdom Hearts 3 for Zeta Flare.
about to Nort Sora super good when Lee dives in and saves the day. Psst, Lee is Axel's somebody and he only really cares about Roxas and Xion, but Sora will have to do. Xehanort goes,
Drat, I'd kidnap you again, but we're all out of our going back in time potion. Until next time when the 7 and 13 are destined to fight and summon the Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts. Hearts 3.
And all the Xehanorts disappear. For now. Riku and Sora go back to Yen Sid and they're like, wow, the whole universe was at stake. Glad we got out of that one. Who we? I almost forgot we were taking a test, haha. And Yen Sid goes,
Riku, you passed.
Sora,
Good
you
job.
fail.
Sora, you almost got Norted. You fail.
and Sora goes, ah, Nort again.
Insert laugh track Jerry Seinfeld credits.
All the characters laugh and credits roll. Wait, we're not done yet. 2 quick games to go.
Union Cross.
Oh baby! Oh, this is gonna be a thick one.
Long ago, I mean like long ago, all the worlds were connected and it was the age of fairy tales. In this harsh on the eyeballs place called Daybreak Town, there was
I love how chat's sanity is slowly devolving. Chat's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean there's more?
this guy called the Master of Masters, who wore a sweet hood and trench like the organization dudes, and he wrote this book of prophecies with the help of his Keyblade No Name, which can see into the future, but only the future it's actually around for, like in the same room. Look, it's got a magic creepy eyeball. So the Master of Masters goes to his 6 apprentices and is like,
Hey guys, I'm gonna peace out. Here, you carry No Name around and pass it down through the generations for no particular future sight related reason, and this box, don't open it. And the rest of you get a signed copy of my book, you're welcome. But
He's gonna open the box.
little did the apprentices know, he gave each of them a slightly different copy of the Book of Prophecies. They read their books and learn there's a traitor amongst them, but not really. The
It's just the worst game of Among Us. No.
apprentices scatter to the winds like dandelions and create their own little groups that learn to use Keyblades.
years and years pass, these groups all end up fighting in the Keyblade War and shattering the Keyblade into 20 pieces, and yeah, there's some of your backstory, I guess. Look,
Sure.
this is a browser/mobile game, don't worry about it too much. Like, maybe you should know Ventus and Marluxia's somebody are leaders of 2 of these groups, and there's these things called Darklings that are heartless, born from Keyblade wielders. There's a Darkling on the
Oh.
box for Kingdom Hearts 3, right about, yeah. But
Oh. I didn't know that piece of lore.
seriously, if any of this is relevant in Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm sure they'll provide context for it like the competent writers they are.
Oh.
Hocus pocus, these games have no focus.
Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage to that's the sound of my soul escaping my body.
Kingdom
Bro, we haven't even got to 2.8 yet.
Hearts 0.2 Birth by... Hey, you know what? Let's just call it No for short. Acts as a kind of prequel sequel that sets some things up for Kingdom Hearts 3.
You play as Aqua, picking up right after the events of Birth by Sleep, where she was trapped in the realm of darkness by Terra.
I don't even think the Darkling makes an appearance in 3 either. I genuinely don't, at least up through Tangled, I did not see it.
She wanders around some Disney worlds swallowed up by darkness, fights her doppelganger, Phantom Aqua, and finds Ventus and Terra, but they're not actually there, she's just lonely. She fights some shadow monsters and ends up falling even deeper into darkness, but eventually runs into Riku and Mickey.
Because, yeah, even though her story took place 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 1,
Time is super janky in the realm of darkness.
which sure is convenient if you're a writer and want to get your prequel character into the present story.
Aqua fends off the darkness while Riku and Mickey close the door from the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, and Mickey literally loses his shirt just to preserve continuity. There's
What a wild thing to keep.
no other reason.
Why?
What a guy!
Bro, this feels like I feel cheated. Like Chekhov's gun, right? If a gun is shown in the first act, the gun will be used by the end of the movie, right? Or whatever, however that works. Why is there no payoff for this? That's the part that makes me sad. Like, what do you mean? Where's the payoff? Come on now.
What a guy!
The door is successfully closed. Hooray! Except Aqua is still trapped in darkness. Feces. Elsewhere, Yen Sid is like,
Sora, not only did you fail my super simple exam, but your brush with getting Norted actually left you Metroided. Look,
Yeah, he got power nerfed. Yeah, he lost all his powers again.
all your stats are back to level 1.
Sora
Yeah.
goes, oh well, gosh darn, ain't that convenient. I mean inconvenient.
There's no time. Go to the Colosseum from Hercules and hang out with Danny DeVito.
Also, Lee is a Keyblade wielder now,
and Kyrie.
Don't worry about it.
So tired. And that takes us to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, okay. I thought this was gonna be a different video time. How is he gonna do Wait, we didn't do 2.8, did we? So how is he gonna do 3 in 2 minutes? I'm here for this. I'm invested.
Sora's gotta train. Riku and Mickey gotta rescue Aqua.
Right.
Kyrie's got to maybe develop into a character.
So
and
she does her
Xehanort is
training.
off somewhere trying to get the 7 Pieces of Light and the Sex Club to go to prom together. What'll happen? Will Xehanort reassemble the key?
Yeah, you know what? Now I'm referring to the real organization as that now. They are just the sex club.
Blade only for Yen Sid to pull a King of Red Lions and be like, I made this. Will the Disney and Final Fantasy characters actually have any kind of bearing on the overall plot? Will we meet a character without pointy anime hair? Will we get to befriend him over the course of our journey and then in our final moment of need his hair pointifies and he saves the day? Will Goofy say a swear? Let's Goofy swear! Hello.
I mean, Donald did cast one of the most powerful spells in Final Fantasy, like, continuity.
If you feel like you don't have quite enough Kingdom Hearts coursing through your veins, you can watch the 7-hour live stream that started this whole mess.
Hell yeah.
Or I might be streaming some Kingdom Hearts on Twitch right now as you're watching this. I can only imagine how well that's going. Also, if you're curious about the production of this video, I streamed myself making the bulk of it. There's a link to the archived streams in the description. I don't have a Patreon, so please enjoy this list of some of my favorite words to say out loud. Sassafras, cumulative, slop, ham-fisted, ham-footed, tomfoolery, hamfoolery, hamhamlery, Greco-Roman, chempkin,
Greco-Roman is a good one.
Aquarius, pebble, flap, bingus bongus, treachery, oblong, hocus pocus,
Oblong is
tectonic, doldrums, bulbous bouffant, macadamia, gazebo, get out of my house.
I do like a good gazebo. I thought this was amazing. I thought this was great. Wow, yeah, this was a time. I absolutely love it though, and I genuinely cannot wait to actually dive through and go through Kingdom Hearts. It will be up on the gaming channel at some point, so you will. So like I said, like I know kind of what happens, but clearly I'm missing stuff, right? Like clearly I'm missing context for a lot of things. So it'll be really interesting to go and get that context. And I know chat generally when we show up to streams like that, you know, unless I like ask for help, you know, people are pretty chill. They don't really provide any sort of backseating. Unless like I'm hardcore stuck and ask for like Silent Hill status. A couple of those I'm really stuck on. But it's pretty chill. So those will be eventually. I would like to start by the end of 2025, but we're gonna see because like Silent Hill 2 remake is already out like at a weekly release schedule because it was like 20 episodes. Like that's already out through January, and I'm trying to bulk up with Spooktober and stuff. What about Kingdom Hearts 2? Well, what happened to 2.8? I'm sure it would be in a part 2. So I'm gonna actually do that so I can finish out the Kingdom Hearts ism. But I honestly like this. I thought this was a really good video. Thank you for making this video. This was really cool. And thank you, Patreon subscriber, for recommending this to me. Because I don't think I would have watched it otherwise. And honestly, this was really full of some really good information. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let me know what your favorite part about this is. Let me know what character you would equate me to. And I will see you in the next one.